Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner. Welcome to part two. We're joined by James shortly when he clicks on. Uh, Tomorrow we've got Barbara the Blade, Sheffield United fan coming back on Porky's International. Feel free to like and subscribe on there and leave a comment. James, are you there? Earth calling
I
James.
am.
Right. Dempsey Whale, age 28, 12 and 0, welterweight. He's headlining on the Barnsley show. Obviously, it's his brother and his father's show, isn't it? Should he now be looking at an area title eliminator, do you think? 12 and 0, 28-year-old?
At 12 and 0, yeah, maybe it's a bit overdue. But things have changed, haven't they? Since 20 years ago, the body can go a bit further at an older
Yeah,
age. So
yeah.
I'd say so. What's his knockout ratio, Russ?
I think he's got one stoppage out of the 12, and he's only got one win against on points against one guy with a winning record in his last fight. So the foundations are laid for him now to move on, I think, and move towards an area belt. Obviously, I want to go traditional route like his brother. Do you feel that a lot of fighters
Yeah.
nowadays they're hanging around trying to get to 20 and 0 and hoping for a phone call from Saudi, and that's why the cupboards are a bit bare? What do you think?
A little bit, I would say. It depends on ticket sales as well, isn't it? Because we spoke, didn't we, about Josh Warrington on our last meeting. We spoke
Yeah,
about Josh Warrington, and if someone's doing a good ticket, and you just said there, Wales not a big banger, is he? So, if he's doing good tickets and he's still getting the wins, keep it going. Keep the cash flowing into his purse. And if in his last fight he's fought a winning opponent, um, I mean, the rounds will step up as well now, won't they? So maybe that'll give him a bigger opportunity. But I think a lot of it just comes down to sort of how much money they can make for the promoter, particularly at small level. They're going to come um, as low as they can for as long as they can, really.
good little style, Dempsey. I've seen him spar. He's got a good little style. I don't think he's got an extensive
Yeah.
amateur record, but he's got a good little style, and he could prove to be the best one out of him, Josh, and his brother Gwyn. And they all had big predictions for Gwyn when he were coming through, but I think he was about 6 and 0, and he fought Steffi Bull and got absolutely robbed. The old Donny Dome, the roof nearly got took off with chairs flying about all over the place. And he
Well,
got beat by Steffi Bull, but he never fought again, Gwyn. But I think he could be best out of the brothers. What do you think?
I'll have to keep an eye on him, then, yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, with a 12 and 0, do you know what I mean? He's persevering, isn't he?
yeah, yeah.
Have to see how he gets on his next fight, and yeah, keep an eye on him.
Okay, Bagpuss, aka Sean O'Hagan. The the game plan for Josh Warrington. He was trying to give him a game plan, thinking it was 5 years ago. Reese Mould's game plan he gave him for Ryan Walsh didn't work, and Maxi users didn't he nearly come unstuck Maxi, and he ended up with a knockout, and he couldn't knock a wank out, could he? So what do you think? You think they got lucky with Maxi, and do you think Sean O'Hagan's had his day in the sun or he's been found out? What do you think?
Well, I was just
Sorry
about to
about
say
the
then,
bag
every
puss.
trainer has a.
Sorry about the bag puss joke, Sean. I know you're watching. Go on, mate.
Well, you know what? Like, I commend him because I'm turning into a bit of a, this could be Porky's corner in this corner of my house, to be honest with you. Like, I'm turning into a bit of a porker. He's done well there, shifting all that weight, and he? So, yeah, fair play to you, Sean. You've said, as he had his day in the sun, I think every trainer does, don't they? And I'm gonna commend him, to be honest with you, because he's turned around in the past, hasn't he, and said like he was a doorman when he didn't really have any boxing
Him a
experience or anything
doorman. If
like
he
that.
said to me, not tonight, I'd go, you what?
Well, no, no. What I mean is like he's not come from a boxing background, does he? But yeah, he's taken. I mean, Josh didn't have an extensive amateur career, did he? And he's still done what he's
Oh,
done.
Sean
So
were a doorman.
apparently so.
Sean O'Hagan were a doorman. Oh my God. What, like
I'm
one of them
sure he said
out
that.
Phoenix Knights with Peter Kay? One of them type of doormans at a working men's club or a town centre
Possibly.
doorman? What I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. I don't know if I had it on Boxing Life Stories or something like that, but could just be me fully the old Chaz and Dave Rabbit, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Um,
I
but
don't think
what?
you'd
But,
be a doorman like these that we get down here in Birmingham on a night out. These, I think Zulu Warriors, something to do with Birmingham City. Because if you
oh
want to
right,
mess about down here on a Saturday night, you're going through doors head first, mate.
yeah, going home in an ambulance. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's not like up north. I can assure you of that. Well,
no,
first-hand
no.
experience.
Well, there was a bit. There was the Birmingham Zulus and the boys from Salford, weren't there? The old Steve Foster and Steve Foster for McCracken.
The Kraken,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've heard, and obviously I'm living in Salford. I've heard a few legendary tales about that night, so I know how handy the Zulus are. Believe me. Um,
Woo!
yeah, but like back to the point at hand. Sean O'Hagan, yeah, he's had his moment in the sun, but what a moment! Do you know what I mean? He's not had any real experience as a trainer other than his son, and he's sort of built on that. Um, fair play to him. Do you know what I mean?
No,
You know,
no,
he's
no. I'm not buying it. Listen, mate, listen to me. Right.
gone.
Fucking pipe down. Let me just
All
say
right.
this to you, James, right? In my opinion, Bagbus overachieved, and so's Josh Waddington. They've overachieved, been carefully matched, and they've wrung the best out they can out of that kid's career. Well done. They've gone all the
Well
way through
done.
the levels, and he's had big nights, and I'm very happy. But it's time to call it a fucking day. Because when you're throwing half as many punches and you're taking rounds off and holding on for dear life, it's time to go. It's time to exit the sport. He's 35 next, fighting at that small weight. He used to complain about people holding him, didn't he, Josh, back in the day?
Yeah,
Now
he
he's
did.
the
He
guy
did.
holding on. He's that
And
guy
then
now.
he's using his head, like we said last week.
Well, we
I
know
agree
about
with
all
you.
that, don't we? We know
Well,
about all.
yeah, I agree with you. I think it's time to hang him up. I said that the other week. But yeah, yeah, like, it seems like me and you, we seem to be on the same page, but we talk about it in a different fashion. Because yeah, you've just agreed with me there. He has overachieved and fair play to him. And I do believe that Josh Warrington should retire. Maybe along with his dad, yeah, because he's wrung everything out of that limited experience. And at least if he retires now, sure. And well, if Sean retires now, he can say, yeah, I reached the pinnacle. Just like in the boxing ring, don't go on too long, otherwise your legacy could be tarnished.
James, don't try and reinvent the wheel. I've been saying for years that Josh Warrington's overachieved. You making out that I've just come up with it now because you said it? Call out my arsehole, James. Dogs do that. You're not a
Oh,
dog.
well, dogs do that. You're not a dog, are you?
Right. Hang on a minute. Let me just click OK on this for your part one.
Okay.
Uh, okay. We'll go through these because we've only got another 25 minutes. Ross Birkinshaw, Ross the boss. Is he coming back on a big Rod show? Has Big Rod dug him up from City Road Cemetery? Yes or no?
Bloody hell. Ross Birkinshaw. Isn't he about 50? Oh,
Hey,
what's going on there? Is that
oh
another
no.
Dave Allen sort of story?
Well, Big Ron dug John Fuchs the fireball up, didn't he? 18 months ago, didn't he? Do you remember that one?
Well, no, I don't. I
Hey?
don't. But it's a bit shocking, isn't it?
If
It's a
Ross
bit
the boss is
shocking,
coming,
man.
if Ross the boss comes back, there's hope for me yet.
Yeah, and me, I can't even walk.
Well, somebody
Right,
told me today that Ross the boss is coming back on a Dennis Christmas cracker at Magna this December.
bloody hell. You'll have to
Imagine
watch
that.
that.
Imagine that where you're at that crossroads in your life where you say, well, it couldn't get any better. You could be on a Dennis Christmas cracker on a ticket deal. Well, if you
Yeah.
are, God, that it's end at rope, isn't it?
Ross Birkinshaw is going to be the Christmas turkey, probably getting stuffed if he's on that show. So, you know what I mean?
Ross, this is Ross. Hey up, Dennis. Hey up, Porky Ross. She left me for a rasta, you know.
Oh, is that what he
Hey up,
said?
Michelle. Hey up, Michelle. I'm all right. I'm over it now. Ross, we're only joking. Get over it, man. Sonny Edwards coming out with Eddie Hills as one-liners. that Eddie comes out with regarding the Yafai fight? Has he been told to big that fight up on 30th of November in Brum? Yes or no, in Birmingham?
Yeah, but I would. Yeah, I'd say so because flyweight. It's not really a glamorous division, is it?
But I
You
like
know,
Sonny Edwards now. I didn't used to like him, but I'm Team Sonny now. I'm Team Sonny.
I do. I mean, I've had the. I was fortunate enough to commentate with him actually, but
Hey, I'll tell
yeah, I
you
like
what. I'll
him.
tell you what. He's not bad at analysing fights, is he?
No, he's class, isn't he? He's class, and he's got a great style. Do you know what I mean? But he's not. It's not really his fault. The flyweight division isn't a glamorous division, but I think the way you fired dispatch to that opponent on Saturday, all right, he weren't no great shakes, but he done what he needed to do, didn't he? And looked
Yeah.
good doing it. I think that's going to do a lot of help towards sort of promoting the fight because I like to use this phrase a lot. I mean, both of them are very good boxers, but I think it's going to be more of a ball versus matador situation. And if I get in a sort of vicious looking knockout, I think he's painting himself in the role of the ball. So yeah, I think he has been told to big it up, but Yafai's done a hell of a lot to promote the situation as well with that win.
Yeah, I agree with you there, James, on that one. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
All right, crawl
And
out
it
my
look,
arse, Polky.
hey, hey,
Crawl out my arse.
listen, are you? Hey, listen, mate. Remember, it's my fucking show, son.
Oh no, yeah,
No, I
sorry.
agree with you. I agree with you there, James, because he is a bit of a banger, him. And the other one were the one who used to train at the EAS when Frotch were training, when he had his run in Super Six and that. Is it Cal Yafai?
Yeah,
He was down as a big puncher back then. He always used to be going like that with his hands and trying to get the good Grant gloves on and all that kind of thing. I
yeah,
quite liked him, and they're nice kids, all them Yafai brothers. So they don't live
same like it.
here as well. So the
Hmm.
good luck to him. But I'm Team Sonny. But if Sonny gets beat, I think they could still bring him back because he's a bit controversial. And I think there's a job for him in boxing, doing like what Paulie Malignaggi does, because he's one at best in business, isn't he, Paulie Malignaggi?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Controversy without being too controversial. Like he'll say what needs to be said, but he's not an arse about it.
listen,
And
I
I
like
think
people like Teddy Atlas, Paulie Malignaggi, Carl Froch, and Sonny Edwards. And I'll tell you another one I like as well. I like Ryan Rhodes as well behind camera. Ryan Rhodes don't get many gigs, and Johnny
no,
Nelson, Johnny Horsecock Nelson, he's falling into that little role now. But whereas when Eddie were at Sky, Johnny were a team company man. One he'd do what he was
he
told
was.
by Bean and Eddie or Super Bean and Eddie.
Yeah,
One,
yeah. It was a bit of a funny one that because he's completely had a personality transplant, hasn't he, Johnny? I've always liked Johnny to be fair, but he can't predict a fight to save his life. I
no,
remember years ago. I went to the Aldi Harrison David A weigh-in. I did a write-up for BoxRec when BoxRec had the news channel, and I said, "Oh, can I give you a bit of an interview?" And he went, "Aldi Harrison's going to win this one. You know, he's not coming here to look stupid. He threw one punch, didn't he?"
I went in
But
this bookies in Dennerby a few years ago, and this geezer come up to me and goes, Porky, who you got for boxing tonight? I goes, oh, let me have a look. And he goes, I'll tell you what I'm thinking of doing. He goes, what? He goes, I'm going to back the opposite to Johnny Nelson's telling us to pack on Sky. I goes, why? He goes, because last 4 weeks I've had winners.
yeah,
But
well,
I
there you
think
go.
Johnny just used to do it to be controversial. Like, do you remember when he were going, God, Carlos Takam is like George Foreman and Holyfield roll into one.
Yeah,
Squeaky one for Anthony Joshua tonight. Do you remember that one? He'd always go
yeah, yeah,
against the grain, wouldn't he, Johnny Horsecock?
yeah. Cataracts. Yeah, cataracts, mate. That's what that was.
Daniel Kinahan's been ordered to pay 9.7 million to Moses Aridia for poaching Jojo Diaz because the money he poached him with was drug money. And so because he didn't go to court to defend it, they've awarded to Moses Aridia, but that don't mean he's going to get paid, does it?
Well, no, like he's wanted by the FBI, and he if they've
Interpol.
managed to slap something on him, surely they can find him. So
Uh,
no, he's not going to get paid.
they didn't think you were going to turn up at court, did they? Surely in California. But this is how
If
I
he
look
did,
at it. You did it again. You know, you fucking annoying me. Stop piping up.
sorry.
Uh, Right, James. Right, listen to me. We have a rule on here. When I talk, you fucking pipe down. Right, Pablo Escobar, Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. They've all been on that top 10 wanted, haven't they? They've all got nipped into bud. Daniel Kinahan, they can't seem to get him, but they're saying they know where he is. Is he more used to them not dead or locked up and out there? Or what? What's going on? Has he cut a deal? Because I'm starting to wonder if they can get them lot, why can't they get him? What do you think?
Do you reckon he's playing a bit of an enforcer role behind the scenes?
An enforcer? Well, I'm talking, is he a Bertie Smalls, mate? Yes or no? Because we're talking about one man from Ireland here, and everybody knows where he is, and he's supposed to, well, he's still on wanted list and a £15 million reward now, but yet they can't pick him up and have a word with him to clear the books or whatever it is. But yeah, Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, and Pablo Escobar, they found all them, didn't they? But they can't find him. What's going on here? I'm only asking a question.
Bertie Smalls, I like it.
Is he doing a Bertie? Yes or no, James? What do you think?
It's possible. It's possible, but because I find it highly bizarre that he's had, that's a civil suit, isn't it? That'll be a civil matter where he's having to pay him that money. Like, or just get the FBI to get hold of him, and you can do whatever you want to do. Then, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a deep one. That saying he's a grass. Who would he be grassing up? Do you know what I mean? You've got to ask your mate PC Gully about that one.
He's not my mate.
I know
Uh,
that.
okay. I think that 9.7 million, they might get that money once they've nicked him and then all his assets are sold off. They might get something, then it's a waiting game. All right, the Saudis, are they interested in women's boxing? Yes or no? Are they phasing it out?
Yeah, they're interested in it for now because going back to the beginning of our conversation in part one, anything to look good at the moment, and the virtue signalers and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to be controversial here, Russ, and just say like, yeah, women's boxing. I agree that women should be able to do whatever they want to do, but don't put it on a main event. Do you know what I mean? It's not aesthetically pleasing enough. Not in my opinion, anyway. Do you know what I mean? But if it makes certain people smile and go, "Oh yes, yes, yes," we're virtuous, we're great. Everyone's dead liberal. Then the Saudis will do whatever's needed to be done to promote their country at the moment. As soon as they've got their foot in the door, and there's no way of them sort of disappearing, and their reputation's good, it'll be kicked to the curb.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said to me, yeah, they're letting women drive cars now, so they're going to let them fight in boxing. I said, mate, it's 200 years for them to let women drive cars. I mean,
Yep.
are they going to let women walk around without them things? I don't know what they're called. They've got like a black tea towel on their head with like eye bits. So they're going to do away with them soon.
Hijab. Yeah, no, they won't, will they? Because in their country, it's their rules, and no one's going to argue with them, are they?
So how do you pull a bird then? How do you get to know what she looks like then if they've got them on their head?
In a way, it's probably nicer because you fall in love with someone for their personality.
And their
You know what I
eyes?
mean? Yeah.
Okay. Roberto Smith, is he going to give Gary Sykes his belt? Yes or no? As somebody
No.
that's worked with Steve Wood, you'll know Steve Wood had Gary Sykes. And Gary Sykes, is it Andy Morris? They've got the record, aren't they, for most punches thrown in a fight. And you remember that fight?
Yeah, I do. I do.
They threw over 2,500 punches, didn't they, in 12 rounds?
Hmm.
So Gary Sykes spilt his guts in the ring, and his trainer, Julian McGowan. All Julian wants is a sit down with Roberto Smith to go through the facts and the emails and to get Gary Sykes' belt, which he won clearly outright. But they're saying Carl Johansson want a proper defence. What do you think? Do you think he should give him his belt?
Yeah, I think they should give him his belt. He's paid the price um, for having a boxing career. Like he had the sad situation. He's been in. I mean, I'm not going to delve into it because it's personal to Gary, isn't it? But we know the struggles that he's had.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? We're there, and again, the virtue signalers, and it's something that I highly agree with. The ringside rest and care, um, the ringside rest and care home. If Anthony Joshua and that can get behind that, and that's a great cause. Well, Gary's the kind of person that would benefit from something like that. So, do you know what I mean? Let's be extra kind to someone like Gary who's struggling. And at the end of the day, it is a belt that he fought and he won, and he's paying the price. He's paying the price at the moment with his mental health. So do the right thing, Robert Smith. I don't think it will be done, unfortunately,
They
because
don't like to admit mistakes, do they, James?
no, certainly not. And how long have you been banging the drum, Porky? You've been banging the drum for God knows how long. And Julian, like I don't want to put anybody else's nose out of joint, but Julian is my favourite guest who comes on the show. Well, he don't come on at the moment, does he? But he's absolutely fantastic. And if a man like that can't convince you with logic and sound sort of defensive
And
Gary
proof,
Sykes, like
and proof.
well, yeah, and proof, yeah. And I'm a man of proof. I got a law degree, and I so yeah. If you can't do that with the proof, I don't think Robert Smith's for turning. I
Yeah.
think you're going to have more joy when he finally leaves Cardiff. Do you know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I put my hand in my pocket, put my hand where my mouth is, and I paid for a billboard up in Dewsbury. I did my best. I've shouted it out on here. Smith, all I want you to do, in fact, I'm not even going to call you Smith. I'm going to call you Smithy. Roberto Smithy. Face Julian McGowan, me, and my solicitor, which I will fund, Celia Keneally, in a room at Cardiff, and let's thrash it out. Julian's got all paperwork. I've seen everything. Let's sort it out and get this kid his belt. The expense of it, you don't have to pay. We just want you to sign it off, and we'll do the rest. They won't do it, will they? So, we've covered the Adam Smith, aka Super Bean, beating cancer story. He don't want to come out and talk about it. Why? And normally you can't get him off camera. He'll talk about anything, crisps, or he's got a spider's web design ready to go on his elbow, or Josh Warrington's stamp collection. But you don't want to talk about beating cancer. What is all that about, Bean? Stop telling whoppers. Come back to haunt you, hasn't it? Well, I'm not going to let it go, Super Bean. It's not Bean no more. It's Super Bean. Superheroes. Okay. What? Am I back?
I love it. I love it. No,
Got
it's
to tell it
brilliant.
straight, haven't you? Got to tell it straight. He knows. He's told the whopper, and he knows that I know. So it is what it is. Joe Cordina. It's all gone quiet about Joe Cordina since moi broke the story about him getting, nearly getting shafted with his Persford Stevenson fight and leaving Sims gym in the process and all that. Eddie were caught bang to rights. Nobody said a word. Old Cordina told him to get effed. Well done, Joe Cordina. But why haven't we got exclusives from IFL? Who's that other little gerbil? Puppy Parsons' channel. And Boxing King Media, Gully. But Gully, why aren't you getting Joe Cordina on camera and asking him why he got rid of them? Because nobody dare give Joe Cordina access on their channels because they don't want to lose access themselves, do they? No, they don't want to give Joe the platform because they don't want to lose access. But we want to know what happened. So come on, all you YouTubers, Boxing Social as well. Coogan, Joe Pugh, all Andrew McCart, all the rest of you, get Joe Cordina on. You daren't do it, dare you? Shithousers. Off with your heads. What do you think, James?
I do. I agree with you. I think they need to ask an even bigger question of Joe Cordina, and that's whether he's been on the old, you know, souped up Yazoo milkshakes
The old
because,
fruit, nuts, and berries blended.
yeah, Thingy's brothers' milkshakes, Kid Galahad's brothers' milkshakes. Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, he got
From the
smashed in that
Ingle
last
Lab.
fight. Yeah, he got smashed in the last fight, didn't he? So you know, I think that's the bigger question I want answering. But they're certainly not going to answer that question because if they do, and Cordina actually, comes out with something they don't like, also puts someone like Conor Benn in the frame, doesn't it? Who I can't stand. But yeah, the whole deck of cards comes tumbling down then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So no one's going to get Joe Cordina in front of a camera for fear of those questions being answered and the House of Cards being toppled. So yeah.
Johnny Bosch, aka the Romford Bull, aka Elmer Fudd, is Johnny Fisher, is he going to win a British title? Yes or no? Or will they have to wait it out with him?
Um, I think they'll have to wait it out at the moment because, yeah, I think Fabio Wardley would absolutely smash him.
Yeah.
And I think Fraser Clark could smash him. I think he'll pick up a vacant. I like him. Don't get me wrong. His dad grates on me a bit. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how you. Like, if you want to get famous for eating takeaways, come around my house. Do you know what I mean? I don't. I don't really get it. I'll do appearances. Look at me in this top. I've got tits. You know what I mean? But he's making a living out of that. I don't really understand it. That's why I'm not a big fan. But
Yeah.
in terms of Johnny Fisher, he's a nice lad, and if he picks up a British title, he'll be very, very lucky. I think, you know, Southern area is sort of his level, realistically.
Do you think they're just going to use him to prop shows up, and he'll never get his chance?
Yep,
He'll get
because
found out before he should be going for it.
well, getting found out, it goes back to, I'm repeating myself again, but it goes back to what I said about promoters. Do you know what I mean? He does a lot of tickets. That Romford Army, I think it's dedicated enough to follow him wherever he goes. Do you know what I mean? Across the sea and whatever. So, you know, Hearn's a money man, as every promoter's a money man. So they'll just keep him sweet with knockover jobs, really. Yeah, he will. He'll be propping up the stable, won't he?
Yeah. Okay. Don Charles. Has he become boring now? I've never seen him do so many interviews. He's doing the rounds. Is he playing the victim too long now? I mean, they've got the world title. He's in the mix. There's a lot of trainers in UK that haven't really had the chances and opportunities Don Charles has had. But he seems to, in my opinion, I think he's playing victim too much. He's in the mix now. Keep your feet on ground and grab it with both hands. We don't want to read about what's gone on in the past. You got there by hook or crook, didn't they? Really?
Yeah, of course I did. I'm surprised you're. Well, you sound like you're being critical of him there, Russ. I'm surprised at that after he laid into the Gad. Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
no, I do
The
like
Gad.
Don Charles, but then yeah, but straight after that, he's on other channels and he's going
Yeah,
on playing victim and that. Look, he's got stuck into the guard, which needed to be done. I
of
mean,
course.
let's have it right. The guard hung Adam Cattrall out to dry, and he hung somebody else at. I think it was Spencer Oliver. He hung them out to dry.
Yeah.
So no, I just think that he needs to pipe down now. He's got a world champion in Dubai. He's done Joshua. So we're giving him his flowers now. But what's gone on it past in it. Move on, Don.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because he sounded like he was just being a bit of a victim, wasn't he, in the Talk Sports studio the other week? And it's like, come on, mate, celebrate, stop moaning. So
If
yeah,
you
I'd
don't
agree with
like
you.
being a boxing trainer, Don, go get a job in Aldi stacking shelves. There's plenty of graft about.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hang on a minute. I can hear a noise. Hang on a minute. What's that noise? I can hear it from here. Fury's arsehole squeaking about the Usyk rematch. You hear that squeaking? That's Fury's
Oh,
arsehole flapping.
yeah, yeah,
What's going on there, James? Is he going to fight Usyk? Yes or no?
yeah. At this point, I'd say no.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, just because he's got a bit of a track record, hasn't he? He avoided the Vlad rematch. I mean, he was on the winning end of the first fight, but I mean, this is even worse for him. This is a bloke that absolutely destroyed Vlad in sparring, and well, he made
He's
him look a bit
amateur.
silly, didn't he?
He's
Well, yeah,
amateur.
exactly. As an amateur, and he made Fury look silly. In that ninth round. So,
Vladimir, a
yeah, I
world
think,
champion then as well, by the way.
yep, exactly. So, I can't see it happening, but then again, I couldn't see the first fight happening. I was saying for years when I was on a pod with Bobby Rimmer and that, I was saying for years it's not going to
Oh, Jack
happen. But
Duckworth. Jack Duckworth.
yep, Jack Duckworth. He don't. I always used to say that to him. Actually, he'll love it. With them glasses, yeah, yeah.
That's what
I
Dennis
used to.
used to call him back in the day when he were riding out with Ricky Hatton.
Oh, is it right? Okay, he's never told me that. he just yeah.
Can I
But
just
no,
apologise to Don Charles here for saying you're a brass, Don? But Don, you were a brass when you were with Derek. Well, I said it in another video. If Derek sacks you 6 times and you go back, Don, you're a brass. You're just doing it for dough. You should have got rid. But I don't agree with you going on and on and on about Usyk being a cheat. There's a referee in that ring, and he said that's a low blow. You've got 5 minutes. So Usyk took 5 minutes. So Don, get over it. But I don't hear you
yep.
calling out for that Usyk rematch. They want to take it in a different direction, don't you?
And like you said, Russ, you know, he had other rounds.
Yeah,
Usyk was
yeah,
beating him up in the other rounds of the fight, wasn't he? So, and
yeah.
let's face it, you know, as valiant and as brilliant as Daniel Dubois was against Joshua, he did go down off a jab from Usyk. So where was the gumption in that fight? Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna use the Q word that everyone seems to love saying, the quit word and all that, not because
Quit
I'm not.
twice. He quit twice against Joyce and Usyk. Quit both times. Now the
Well,
guy
there you go.
backpedaled and said, "I didn't use the quit. I didn't use the Q word." No, you didn't. But he saved himself for another day. He quit, but he did the right thing. But we can word it as he saved his son for another day. He wouldn't have been thinking that at the time when the heat was on, because it's like Teddy Atlas says: when that heat comes, you're either a firefighter or you're not. And the heat came, and he quit twice. The heat might come again, and he might not quit, but then he quit, didn't he? Let's have it right. Let's talk proper.
Well, I suppose, yeah, when you put it like that, yeah. But I still had him to beat Joshua because Joshua's quit even more times, hasn't he? Like when the going's got tough, he's folded like a melted candle. So
Should the media have cancelled Carl Froch? Yes or no? Because it looks like he's been cancelled, doesn't it?
no,
No, I
but
agree.
I mean that's the culture that we've got now, isn't it? You say something offensive. There's people now going to prison for unsavoury Facebook posts, isn't there?
Well, what has
So
Carl said that's offensive when he's worked on like Sky and he's worked at BT Sport, TNT Sport, and DAZN and that? What has he said that is offensive? He's only said things that has been the truth on his channel, but it looks like he's been quit, doesn't it? Sorry, it looks like he's been
yeah,
so.
well, he was talking about the Saudi national anthem and that, wasn't he? I suppose, and that seems to be a bit of a flavour of the month at the moment. That being played at the in the arena. I
Hang
don't
on a minute,
disagree with him.
James. Two British fighters, right,
Yeah,
fighting at Wembley at National Stadium, and they put the Saudi national anthem on first. What has that
yeah,
got to do with two Brits going at it?
I know. I don't disagree with him, but just the madness of the modern world and this, woke culture that we keep hearing about. The mainstream media don't like it.
What about Eddie
So
Hills saying whoever says that is racist? Why would he put the race word in with somebody asking a simple question? Why are they playing Saudi national anthem first? We've got two Brits fighting. I don't
it's
get it.
nothing to do. It's nothing to do with race, though, is it? They've not. They've
Nothing.
not turned around, and that's where I agree with you. It's nothing to do with race. He's not turned around and called into question, and started having a go at Arabs and having a go at people from the Middle East. It's just racism. That word race and racism is just a buzzword, isn't it? It's like, oh, let's be sensational. We'll use the R word without actually exploring what they're saying actually means. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's the word of it's the term of the moment. Racism and just picking on picking on anything they can to get rid of unsavory or characters they deem unsavory. I like Carl Froch. I
Yeah.
really like Carl Froch, and boxing needs characters like him. We're not dealing with. Do you know what I mean? This isn't CBeebies. Why are we trying to sanitize the sport? When it comes down to it, it's two blokes trying to incapacitate each other. You're consenting to grievous bodily harm. There's nothing nice or fluffy about it. So why are we trying to fluff it up? You need people like Carl Froch. You need people like, Carl Frampton was good at it as well. Um, Paulie Malignaggia. You need people like that.
Teddy Atlas.
Yeah, well, the
Kell
one person
Brook.
you don't
Kell
need.
Brook, he's speaking out now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, there you go. And I agree with you. There was nothing racist about it. Eddie Hearn's just looking at his paymaster and just going, I'm going to say whatever I can say or whatever I need to say to ensure that my tongue remains firmly up your ring piece, Turkey Al Sheikh.
And on
And
that
there you go.
note, I'm off. So listen, thanks for coming on. You've been a good guest. You can have a bit of banter. You can take a bit of stick. I like that. You've got balls.
Yeah. But I like you, mate. And I'm just saying, without kissing your ass, like, it's bit. But the reason why I've been laughing so much is just because, like, you know what I mean? I've been wanting to come on for months and now I'm in the thick of it. So I love it. And I want to
Hey,
say as well, thank you to Andy, not from Aberdeen, for his kind comment on my last video.
go on,
Means a
Andy.
lot.
You'll love that, Andy. He's got a bad back at the moment, but yeah, he'll
He's
like
a
that.
legend.
He is. Andy from Perth, but not Aberdeen.
All
I said,
right, see
why
you
did you
later.
say that, Andy? He goes, ah, had a good ring to it. Go on then, James. Take care, mate.
All right. And
Cheers,
you,
cheers.
mate.
Bye.
Bye bye.
That was